Taking the Eurostar from London to Paris sounds pretty cool, right? I mean, 2 hours, city center to city center. But if you don't know what you're doing, you could overpay, miss your train, or spend way too long waiting around. I've taken the Eurostar multiple times, and today I'm sharing Eurostar London to Paris, 15 tips to know before you book that'll save you time, money, and stress so you can ride with total confidence. Hi everyone, I'm Antoinette and welcome back to my channel. At Frolic and Courage, I like to help you plan well, have fun, and travel the world. So first things first, let's talk about booking Eurostar tickets because this is where you can save serious money or accidentally blow your budget. My first tip is to book as early as possible. The Eurostar allows you to book
up to 8 months in advance.
I booked my tickets about 3 months out and paid only £60 per person each way. But here's the thing. The closer you get to your travel date, prices can skyrocket to over £200 each way. And if you're traveling on weekends, especially a Sunday night or during holidays, expect even higher prices. So my next tip is to watch for promo fares. Occasionally, Eurostar releases promotional fares as low as £40, so sign up for the email list and follow them on social media to catch those deals when they drop. And everyone, this is not sponsored, so these are my own opinions from my own experience. That leads us to our next tip. Consider the Eurostar Snap program. This is Eurostar's last-minute fare option that's available about 2 weeks before travel. And you all know I am a big proponent of traveling in advance, so 2 weeks before just, it kind of gets to me, but sometimes you need a last-minute fare. And for those of you who don't plan that far in advance, this might be a good option for you. This is how Snap works. You select a window of time, say morning or afternoon, and they send you your actual departure time later. It can save you money, but it comes with restrictions that you need to know. Like, the tickets are non-refundable, you can't pick your seats, you can't bring certain items like a bike, and there are no children's tickets. So be sure you read the Snap rules very carefully and clearly before booking to see if it's an option for you. If you're flexible, pack light, pack tight, and enjoy kind of the thrill of the last minute chase, it could be a good option for you. But if you have a family and a really restrictive time period that you need to arrive, then consider just booking a standard ticket. But no matter what ticket you book, my next tip is to download the Eurostar app. Your tickets live here as a QR code, and the app provides helpful real-time information about your journey, including what time to arrive at the station, very important, typically 90 minutes before departure to allow time to go through passport control and security. That's a little bit about booking your ticket. Now let's try to understand ticket types and break down what you're actually getting with your ticket because Eurostar has 3 classes.
Eurostar Standard, Plus, and Premier.
At the time I'm posting this video. Tip number 5 is to know what's included in your standard class because these are the most popular tickets and they help set you up for the other classes. So with standard, you get 2 pieces of luggage, plus 1 small backpack or like a day handbag. In terms of airline speak, the 2 pieces of luggage can be either 2 check bags or a check bag and a carry-on or 2 carry-ons and a personal item like a purse or a backpack. With standard, there's no meal included, but you can purchase snacks, drinks, and meals on board from the food cars, which are usually cars 8 and 9. You also get free Wi-Fi and access to both UK and EU plug sockets. And if you upgrade, you'll get snacks and a light meal. And with Business Premier, you get all the same things, except passengers receive a full meal service. And speaking of seats, my next tip is to choose your seats strategically. If you didn't know, all seats are assigned. There is no open seating, and you can choose between tables of 4 facing each other or a pair of 2 chairs side by side. Check out the seating chart in advance on Eurostar's website so you know exactly what you're getting. And if you're tall like my husband of 6'3" and want extra legroom, you can fit in a standard seat. A little tight, but you can fit, but consider upgrading to a higher class fare. Tip number 7 is to pick cars 13 to 15 if you're traveling from London to Paris. These cars arrive closest to the exit at Gare du Nord, so you can get off quickly and avoid the rush of people that all come off the train at the same time and jump in front of you. And on the return from Paris, choose cars 3 to 5 to exit closer to the station. All doors will open up, so you can get out and join the line and go off on your merry way. But know that those cars will help you get there just a little faster. Now, what about arriving at the station and security? So, all right, you booked your tickets. Now let's talk about what happens when you actually get to the station. Tip number 8 is don't arrive too early. Your ticket will tell you when to arrive before departure, and it's usually 90 minutes, but here's what that really means. You need time to go through security and passport control, because even though it's only a 2-hour train ride, you're leaving the country. London to Paris basically means England to France. But arriving a full 90 minutes early does not mean you board 90 minutes early. It means you get to wait in the departure lounge. The Eurostar trains can carry up to 894 passengers, so the station ebbs and flows between overcrowding, standing only room, and plenty of open seating. I found that arriving around 60 to 75 minutes before departure gives you enough time to get through security without too much stress, and it doesn't leave you sitting around forever. I mean, there will be some sitting or standing around, but at least you can kind of, limit that time a little bit. And my next tip is to understand the difference between boarding in London versus Paris. When you're traveling from London to Paris, you'll go through UK exit checks and French entry checks at St. Pancras station before boarding. The trains leave from platforms 5 to 10, and it's announced on the screens inside the departure lounge about 20 minutes before boarding. When you arrive at Gare du Nord, you simply walk off the train. There's no passport control on the Paris side because you've already done it in London. Going in the opposite direction from Paris back over to London, you'll complete both French exit and UK entry passport controls at Gare du Nord before boarding. Then when you arrive at St. Pancras in London, you can just walk off and go about your day. And a quick note about Gare du Nord is that it actually takes some hunting to find the Eurostar station. That's what happened to us. We were running a little bit later behind schedule and had to navigate very quickly with our luggage. The departure area is separate from the main SNCF platforms, so don't just follow signs for trains, look for Eurostar signs. They might have a UK flag to Hall 2 or Hall Londres. You'll find Eurostar departures on the first floor balcony overlooking the main concourse. And to get there, use the escalators opposite platform 17 or the elevator opposite platforms 9 and 10. Let me say this again because it's important. Don't just follow signs for trains. Look for signs that say Eurostar with a UK flag to Hall 2 or Hall Londres or Hall London. Tip number 10 is boarding is actually pretty quick, like really quick. And boarding usually begins 15 to 20 minutes before departure. And once it starts, it moves fast. You'll leave the departure lounge, line up in a designated area, and then be released to board on your specific track after scanning the QR code on your ticket. From Paris to London, trains can leave from one of the platforms 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the platform train departure will be shown again on the screens in the departure lounge when boarding starts, around 30 minutes before departure. And once everyone's on, the train is gone. So don't wander off or you might miss your train. While on board the train, let's talk about luggage and the onboard experience, because luggage is a big question that people have and one that I had when I was looking at tickets and my first time on the train. My next tip is that there actually is no weight limit for your baggage, but you are on your own. Unlike flying, the Eurostar doesn't have strict weight requirements. You don't have to go to the check-in counter, check your bags, and then have them whisked away by airport staff to be loaded underneath the plane. That's not how luggage works on the Eurostar. You need to be able to carry, lift, and stow your own luggage. There's no assistance available unless you've specifically requested disability assistance on their form on the website in advance. And let me be clear, you need to wheel, lift, maneuver, and stack your bags yourself. And there may be a few steps to get onto the train and a gap between the platform and the train. So pack smart and don't try to bring more than you can carry. Y'all have heard me say this time and time again, pack light, pack tight, and do not bring more than you can carry. Once on board, storage is plentiful and there are overhead bins and luggage racks at the end of each car. But if you want prime space, then arrive at the boarding area early so you can secure a good spot closer to your seat and closer to the luggage rack so you can rack them and stack them. And speaking of luggage, my next tip for taking the Eurostar from London to Paris is you can bring way more than you think. Unlike flying where you have 3.5 ounces of certain liquids in a clear bag, the Eurostar doesn't restrict liquids. You can bring bottles of wine, olive oil, skincare products, whatever you want, that's legal, as long as you can carry it and stow it safely. Just remember, 2 bags plus a small personal bag is the limit. And once you're on board, the ride is comfortable. The seats are spacious, the train is clean, and Wi-Fi is available. although the speed can vary, may be a little bit intermittent in and out. While on board, tip number 13 is to download shows and entertainment before your trip. Like I said, Wi-Fi can be spotty, especially when you're going through the Channel Tunnel or more rural areas. I always download a few movies or TV shows beforehand just in case, and I bring noise-canceling headphones for the best experience. Speaking of that channel, it gets dark under the channel for about 20 minutes. When I first took the train, I thought it was gonna be like some underwater aquarium where they have like sea creatures that you can see underwater, and it is nothing like that at all. As a matter of fact, it's completely dark outside and your ears might even pop a little, but it's totally normal and a fun little reminder that you're just traveling under the English Channel in complete darkness with the lights on the train. That's it. Let's cover flexibility and what happens if things don't go as planned on your Eurostar ride. My tip is to know your ticket flexibility. Standard tickets are refundable up to 7 days before departure with a £25 fee per person per leg of the trip. Tickets are exchangeable up to 1 hour before your original departure time with no fees. You just pay any difference in fare if your new ticket costs more. And if it's cheaper, unfortunately, you won't get a refund for the difference. But if you exchange your ticket less than 7 days before departure, it becomes non-refundable. So definitely read those terms and conditions for your ticket before you make any purchases so that you are comfortable with the terms. Delays and cancellations can happen on the train, just like with the flight. If your train is delayed or canceled, you can exchange your ticket at a later time or day, get an e-voucher credit to use within 12 months, or get a refund minus fees within 28 days. The process is pretty straightforward online. And here's a bonus tip. You can bring food and drinks on board the Eurostar. Snacks are available for purchase at the station, but they're cheaper if you buy them outside the station. Overall, it's only a 2-hour ride between London and Paris, so you probably don't need a full meal, but it's nice to know you have that option. We ate at the station before boarding, and there are plenty of options at St. Pancras and around Gare du Nord for you to choose. We went straight from London Heathrow on the tube to go to St. Pancras, and this is what the journey was like. The Eurostar isn't just for London and Paris. You can actually take it to Amsterdam, Brussels, and other destinations across Europe. It's an incredibly convenient, comfortable way to travel city center to city center without the hassle of all the airports. And there you have it, 15 tips to help you take the Eurostar from London to Paris and back with confidence. This train is one of the easiest, most scenic ways to travel between two incredible cities. And now that you know exactly how to make the most of it, if you want to see what I actually did in Paris and London, check out my full vlog. I'll link it in the description box below and at the end screen. And if you're ready to start planning your own Paris and London adventure, I've got helpful resources and links in the description box below. If you're short on time, I would be happy to do the planning for you. Click the Let's Book My Trip to Paris London link below to get started. If you have any questions, also leave them in the comments down below and share your experiences if you've taken the Eurostar between London and Paris or any other city. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.